Okay, so I want to record this quick video to talk about two different approaches for outbound outreach, what I call here the old way and the new way. And I'm going to show you by the end of this video how much time you can save by automating some of your outbound outreach operations. So let's just dive in on the old way here where you're sending manual emails. I'm using here as an example. Maybe you're sending 20 emails per day, so that's 100 emails per week to new prospects. And if you don't get a response within a reasonable amount of time, and a reasonable amount of time here just means maybe 2 to 3 days. If you don't get a response, you want to respond, or you want to, follow up with the prospect, because maybe when you sent the first message they were busy, or maybe they read your message but they got distracted. So if you watch my previous video, you would understand that there is a high importance for multiple touch points to stay at the top of mind and catch someone at the right opportunity. So, but just here, looking at the number of people you reach out to each day, as each day progresses, not only do you have to keep track of the new people that you're reaching out to, you have to keep track of the previous people that you've reached out to and who have not responded. So already you can see, this is the very beginning of the workflow. You can see how time consuming this is to try to keep track of not only the new people you have to reach out to, but also the previous people you've reached out to who haven't responded yet. So that's within the first stage of this workflow. So now let's look at what happens when you start to get responses. So what I'm showing you here is probably 95% of the responses that you'll get when you're doing your cold outreach. And ideally, you want to move through this center channel here where the response that you get is someone that's emphatic, they're interested, they want to move forward, they say, yes, let's book a call. You schedule a call with them, you ultimately close a deal, build a new partnership, and generate some revenue for your business. That's the goal, is to move through this center channel. But you can get other responses from prospects who are interested but just need a little bit more information. So for example, someone might have some questions about price or cost structure where you would manually respond and maybe have to follow up with them again if you don't get a response to move them through the workflow to ultimately book a call. Likewise, you can get a response where someone says, hey, can you just send me some more information? Give me some, I need some clarifying information. Maybe they have a few questions. Same thing, you got to manually respond and then follow up with them if they don't respond. You can maybe get some other responses too, but it's the same process: manual response and then a follow up if they haven't responded. People will say that they're not interested. That's normal. That's part of the process. Sometimes you get an automated response where someone's out of the office. You have to keep track of these where maybe you wait a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to follow up with them again once they're back in the office and you can have a chance to talk with them. But the take-home message here is that all of these boxes in red are manual operations that you have to do. You have to write the manual responses. You have to write the follow-ups. And if you're sending 20 emails per day, as the days progress, people are going to be at various stages in this workflow. It becomes an overwhelming process that is difficult to manage. And maybe you're doing it. Maybe you have an Excel spreadsheet or you're very detail oriented and you're keeping good notes. But for most people, this is a time consuming process that takes your attention away from the more critical aspects of your business. So what can we do here to make this a more manageable system? I'm going to show you how we've built a new system and how we leverage this system for you. So we use an automated sending platform. Instead of sending one email manually, our system sends a series of emails. We call this a sequence, where emails are sent and there's a period of time between them, maybe 2 to 3 or maybe even 7 days in between. We're not spamming people. We're not sending emails every single day. We're just sending them at a frequency to try to catch someone at the right time, at the right opportunity where they are interested and they want to work with you. We're also implementing a much higher rate of message sending. So here I'm using an example of 500 emails per day. This is per day. We're sending 500 emails using our system. And of course, you're going to get responses, and the response structures in this workflow is identical to the previous workflow. You're going to get the same kinds of responses. But the advantage here is that we're using reply templates where we already have a response crafted. We just have to fill in a little bit of the information. And based on different types of questions, if someone asks about price or cost structure, we have a response for that. If someone says they want to book a call, we have a response for that. If someone says, hey, can you send me more information? We have a response for that to send more information. Most often, other types of responses, like I said, this is going to cover 95% of the responses that you'll get. Other types of responses generally work their way towards sending more information. That's why this response moves into the send more information reply template. But the beautiful thing about this system is that after we send our responses, the prospects are sent into another sequence. These are called sub-sequences, where it's another series of emails that are spaced out over 3 or 4 days. By using these subsequences, all of these are automated. Everything here in green, these are automated processes. So I don't have to sit here, and you wouldn't have to sit here wondering where all these prospects are in this workflow. You don't have to worry about it at all. This is the system that we build for you to automatically push prospects through the system to ultimately book a call with you, to get you more calls and close more deals and generate revenue. This is the big picture, and this is the new way of doing your outbound outreach because it's an automated process, it's easier to maintain, and it does a lot of the heavy lifting in communicating with prospects, staying at the top of mind, and keeping them engaged so that you ultimately get to the finish line and get to those calls and get to those deals. So I'm Tom Kenderdine. I'm the founder of TK Strategies. There's a link in the bottom to book a call with us if you want to have a discovery call and learn more about how the system works and how it can serve you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great day and wishing you success.